Long title on this one. Amazon QuickSight launches API-based domain allow listing for developers to scale embedded analytics across different applications.
Yeah, so this one is actually quite interesting. Unlike most other services at AWS, QuickSight kind of evolved in a completely different manner. The way it is integrated with the AWS suite is completely different. It feels like a single tenant application that's just offered on the console rather than being a native API first service, which is what pretty much all the other services are. The mechanism of authenticating users or bringing them on board is done in a completely different manner. You have to authorize users on the QuickSight app. Fundamentally, as you start embedding these applications into these dashboards inside other applications, you run into the problem of multi-tenancy, right? You have one account, one QuickSight dashboard that's templated that you want to use across multiple tenants. You want to be able to do different permission schemes and so on. That just becomes insanely hard. And a lot of this was not available via API earlier. You had to go into the console and set it up. You had to go into the QuickSight dashboard and go to settings and go set it up there. So it was kind of all over the place. And I think given that now there's an API to, you can do domain allow, we have to try this out a little bit more. But I think this is the mechanism by which you'll now be able to afford or be able to serve multi-tenant solutions that use QuickSight dashboards. So this is actually a really big deal for anyone embedding those dashboards inside. If you're just using it within your org, as simple dashboards where someone logs into the console, not that big a deal. But the more you're embedding these dashboards inside applications that you're shipping, you need, to create these domains and control access. This is your multi-tenant solution.
That's really interesting. This is it almost reminds me of how Amplify felt initially when you had the Amplify console. This user model is detached from everything else I'm doing.
Correct.
I need 1 second. Hold on, I need to close the window. 1 second. Oh, apologize for that. Someone started a leaf blower outside. Elon Musk, if you happen to be watching, please invent an electric leaf blower. Add to the Tesla lineup. That would be so much appreciated.
Yeah. All so, right. Yeah, multi-tenancy is really a big thing for most of these applications. QuickSight has the scale, but if you can't serve multiple, thousands of customers in different domain and be able to partition and segment customers who access these, it's really not, valuable. The other problem that QuickSight has, and hopefully this resolves it, is any of the dashboards created in that account, you basically you can decide what dashboards a particular user has access to. But if you have edit access, you pretty much have edit access to most stuff. And you have the ability to look at the underlying set of dashboards. So the permission schemes are a little convoluted. And, the more we can segregate customers, the better it gets.
Got it. Well, I think this is a fairly straightforward announcement.
This is fairly straightforward. Given that they have the blog going with it, which actually covers examples of code and the request responses, I'd actually give this a 4 out of 5. QuickSight is complicated as a product, which is why I'm taking away one point from it. But I think from an article standpoint, they've done a pretty good job of trying to communicate it effectively and make it easy for someone to try it out, use it, and figure out what to do with it. So I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, definitely. If you saw this come up on your RSS feed and it was relevant, you'd right away jump into the blog post and just have a look.
Correct.
The blog post, like you said, they link right to the blog post. The blog post has examples, screenshots, a lot
Correct.
of it. Yeah.
And this is literally the thing that I was hoping that they would do for, for the first article we discussed, like Elasticache.
Yes,
That should have been like a half a page blog post that said, go to your console, click this button, change your instance type to a Graviton instance, and save up to 60%.
So then overall, do we think this gives us some simplicity? It seems like you said, it's fundamentally not a simple thing, right? Because it's access to data within your organization. But being able to access this by the API, I would think, makes the administrator's life simpler.
I absolutely agree. For embedded applications, you have to do things via API. You cannot do this from the console. I think that expectation's, ancient. So this definitely simplifies.
Excellent. All right. Well, and I guess that's a good thing to keep in mind for other teams is, right, to have that blog post. There's nothing that's better than an example and a screenshot. That's and like there's one API request that really clarifies a lot more than a big paragraph could.